Warning: this podcast may contain explicit content. Parental approval advised. Welcome to another Speed Limit podcast, and our guest today is an Undead Warrior who likes warriors. And he's the class lead of the guild Purge. So please welcome Warblade.
It says, you give a poor man a fish and you feed him for a day. You teach him to fish. You give him
What's going on, man?
None much, man. Happy to be here. Been a long time coming.
So yeah, I've been kind of looking at my schedule to see who's on next, and I'm like, oh shit, so Warblade. And I looked when I logged in. I'm like, oh god damn it, he's on ZG. So I was just waiting, but I'm like, well, if you didn't have any time, maybe I could ask somebody else that's ahead of the schedule. But I can't find anybody that's on, and everybody's raiding. So you guys were done pretty fairly early, so thought I'd ask.
It went pretty good. So I went on my this is my second warrior that I went on the ZG with. I have Warblade and I have Gressel. I'm a warrior guy, and I'm trying to get him to Exalted on the second character. So there's a lot of ZGs. I run it about 3 to 4 times a week.
That's cool, man. Yeah, with the time being that I've been wanting to do ZG on my shaman, the time is just it's not working pretty well. Luckily that our main raids are still good to go with my schedule, so I'm on top of that. Like
Sweet.
Molten Core and BWL, and I'm working on a hunter right now too. So
awesome. Yeah. So let's dip into some questions. How do you normally frame your Speed Limit podcast? Do you ask a series of questions, or you just kind of go off the cuff?
I just kind of go off the just random stuff. Just talk until something comes up. Usually, I don't know. I want to try doing a little research, but it's kind of hard to do that since I just talk to people randomly. They would go on about like a little mini introduction maybe when they sign up into the website. From the website, they would explain a little bit of themselves, and I can kind of go off that, especially if there's special characters out there that are signing up. Like from the past few weeks that I've had, one particular character, one of his reasoning to be in a podcast is that he wants to share his gambling addiction per se, but it's not really I don't know if you call it even addiction, but it seemed like it because that's all he does every single day. So it seemed interesting to me. I'm like, how is he doing this? So I kind of go off of that when we start talking, not necessarily go into it right away, but just kind of ease up a little bit on it until maybe 10 minutes, 15 minutes of conversations. Just first, my initial point is saying hi to everybody. So I don't think I did that with you, but that part doesn't matter as much, I guess. If you want to talk more, or if you just want to get into it right away, you can feel free to do so. But essentially, when I have guests on, I would it's like, hey, what's up? How's it going? How's your day? What'd you do today? How are you dealing with this pandemic and all this stuff. So you just start off and saying hi and hello, and kind of easy talk at the first few 10-15 minutes, and ask questions along the way. Did you cut up there a minute?
Yeah, I'm here. What's going on? Could you not hear me?
Yeah, I couldn't hear you. It was silent. I don't know what happened.
Oh, wow. Okay. Never mind. Sorry about that.
That's fine.
I'm here.
That's
I'm
fine.
here. No, what I was saying, I was giving a recap is I played classic World of Warcraft since 2016. I started out on the Nostalgia server, which is a private server, and then Classic came out last year. Started going harder with this. I play it every day. I stream it, 3 times a week or so. The raids go up to YouTube, and I'm having a good time here.
That's pretty awesome, man. That's 2016. You said private server, right?
Private server. Yeah, 2016.
Yeah. How was that? How did that go? How was that server compared to how was private server compared to this classic? Like, could you explain a little bit of comparison or?
Definitely, I sure can. So the players are a lot more hardcore, and what I mean by that is, there's a lot of meme weapons that you wouldn't use, like the Tiger Claws, for example, in ZG that just came out. Mm-hmm. We had a whole raid where a couple of us were using the Tiger Claws. That something like that would never happen on the private server because it was scaled harder. So you only used the highest percentage weapons, basically. You wouldn't, joke around and have a fun stream. It was clearing the content with the best weapons. If the weapon wasn't the best, you wouldn't use it. And if you did use it, then you're getting called a meme, things like that. Mm-hmm. So ZG was a lot harder. The mobs hit harder. All the raids were kind of tuned up in difficulty.
Mm-hmm. Now, tuned up in difficulty, the GM is what they call it, right? GM, it's still the same, Game Masters. Do they still call them Game Masters or something else?
Yeah, I would say that. I think the people who created the game, the Nostarius and then in the Elysium servers, all the difficulty was tuned up. So the bosses, they had higher hit points, and then also they hit you harder. So you had to bring kind of the best of the best to the raid. So Orc Warriors, they only went axes. I was an Undead Warrior, of course, so they kind of looked at me kind of funny, like, why didn't you roll Orc Warrior so you can get the +5 racial? Little things like that. Everything had to be min-maxy because the difficulty in each raid was so hard. Now it's kind of scaled back where the raids are easy compared to someone who came from private servers. And, you can have a lot more fun. Like, I just did a Tiger King raid 2 days ago, where I had the ZG claws and I used them for the entire raid, and it was fun. It was just a nice fresh raid of Molten Core instead of going hard all the time. It's pretty cool.
That's cool, man. Do they usually, the people who created these private servers, do they usually go into the code itself to change the difficulty, or what do they do? You know anything about that at all, on how they make that changes?
Yeah, I think when they created this game, they didn't have all of the data from Blizzard, of course. So they went with what they thought it was going to be. So they spent about 5 years doing it, and they assumed it was going to be harder. So they tuned the difficulty up to what they thought it was going to be. Different proc rates and stuff like that. They gathered all the information they could, but the game ended up being very hard compared to what this is that we're playing now officially from Blizzard.
That's pretty cool, man. I had somebody sign up, or I was talking to somebody on Reddit about, interviewing people, but one of the people that I was talking to was saying that he was like, well, I'm not sure if I have any output if I'm talking to you for Classic WoW, because I used to be a game master for a private server, and I don't know how significant that is. I'm like, are you kidding me? You have the majority of Classic WoW players. Well, I don't know if it's the majority, but some of the players here in Classic WoW played from private servers.
For sure. Yeah, for sure. Like the Herod server, the Earth Fury server, the Katono server, the Stalic server, Scarum, most of those guys are private servers. Is this server that you come to where there's a few of them? I met 1 or 2, maybe 3, but the majority are private servers for those bigger stream, the bigger servers like a Herod, Faralina, things like that.
Hell yeah. And that kind of reminded me when he said that. I don't know if he knew about how people are defeating raids in Classic WoW, but I heard that the way they do it is they would practice in private servers and come back here and beat it like within a few minutes or so, or a couple hours in that first week.
Definitely, yeah. And before Blizzard released those PTRs, like they caught wind of it, like they were going to be high speed clear guilds that would go to a private server, get all the buffs, try the different techniques down until they knocked it out, and then hop on over to Classic and crush it within one raid lockout. So I think that's a big thing. It's good that Blizzard caught onto it. But my fear is that once we finish this tier and we go into Nax, and Nax is actually easier than we thought, then now those private servers are going to come back up with all the Blizzard official type of items and stuff like that and proc rates, but they're also going to tune the difficulty up to where now the private server players have a challenge. Those speedrun clear guilds have a challenge, and then they start playing it for the challenge instead of the fun of it. Right now it's fun, but the challenge isn't really there. Hopefully it comes more along with AQ and Nax.
Yeah, man, it's a slippery slope kind of to think about it, because if you stayed in Classic, it's kind of a legit way of playing. It's Classic, it's owned by Blizzard, and that feeling that it's legitimized. I don't know if it's the same thing with you or other people out there, but for me, if I played in Classic, like I legitimately own this game, I have this notion of reality when it comes to playing a Blizzard game. But at the same time, when you talk about challenges, that's kind of tempting to just go in there and check it out, man, because I never thought about this until now. When you mentioned the challenges, that kind of opened up like my whole mind about it. When it comes to that, then man, that'd be kind of interesting on just going there, and leveling a character and trying to do even MC Molten Core. I'm pretty sure the Molten Core is pretty steroid up as well too. I don't know if
definitely
it's one of those things that I wonder, like if there's like a hardcore mode of this game, which I think that would be a part of it, right? Yeah,
that's exactly what it was. Like private servers was hardcore mode or hard mode, and this is like easy or normal. I think that's the best way I can put it. Not to discredit this game, because this is what we all wanted. We all wanted official Blizzard servers. We all wanted our characters to be maintained instead of disappearing away. There's a lot of corruption on the private servers, but the good things the private servers did is provided that difficulty. You really had to hone in and bring your consumables, all this other stuff. And it gets kind of frustrating because I'm a high consumables guy. If you see me in a game, even on my alt character, I have 10 mongoose pots, 10 elixirs of fortitude. I have my Rumsey's Black Label for the stamina, because I needed all that in private servers, and you don't really need it now here, but it helps you perform better.
Also, do they still have the private server running now, or is it all
Yes,
done?
there's some of them. I think K2, K3, I think that's up still. There's definitely the different, like Lord of the Ring private, what's the name? Rafa Lich King private servers, Cataclysm private servers. They still have those up. A couple of BC ones are up too. The vanilla servers, besides I think K3, besides that, all of them shut down. They agreed to shut down because Blizzard released the classic version of World of Warcraft. But my thing is, once this tier is done, people are going to be tempted to either play this game again if they don't release servers again, or play with all this good data, but with a higher difficulty, because it is kind of easy. We know Molten Core is easy. It was surprising to see Blackwing Lair be as easy as it was, and ZG. Like the spinner mobs, the axe throwers, on private servers, those would kill you. If you get caught in that whirlwind, 2-3 hits and you're dead. Now, with one or two heals, you can survive the whole thing. That's kind of the difference, is regular mobs would kill you in private servers versus it takes a boss to kind of kill you on classic servers.
Right. Hold that thought. I gotta go to the bathroom. Sorry about that.
No problem. No problem. Well, guys, here, like I said, I am Reggie versus Solace. I am a Twitch streamer on the Deviant Delight server. I am the warrior class lead for the guild Purge. I stream at twitch.tv, Reggie versus Solace. It's all one word there. Feel free to extend a follow. I stream about 3 times a week. We stream our raids. I raid on 2 warriors. Like I said, I'm a warrior class lead. I have a 2-handed warrior, Gressel, and my 1-handed main warrior, which is Warblade. And he has one of the Thunder Fury bindings, so we're hoping for the one from Baron Geddon to drop, and we'll be able to get that. Thank you for the follow right there, Scaban2. I appreciate that. Thank you. Yeah, so I've been trying to do this Speed Limit podcast for about a couple of months, so I'm happy to be here. As you can see the background, we just got Stream Deck. We just got some good sound effects going on there. Just got the RTX 2080 graphics card, so we're going to be doing some big things, man. Like I said, it's a small server, but I'm definitely happy to be here.
I'm back.
Welcome back.
Let me just get a drink here. Yeah, what's nice about this is it's gonna be edited. So I usually just edit it to more like an hour or something.
Not bad. I'm here, man. This is really good. Really good questions. Really good vibes, man. Yeah, I was definitely excited, man. When you promoted your Speed Limit podcast, that's something I definitely wanted to get on, man. So I'm definitely happy to be here talking World of Warcraft, talking streams, talking whatever.
So when it comes to private servers, I mean, the way you explained, they have the different level of difficulties. Is it different levels or just one difficulty?
It's one level of difficulty, but everything was scaled up. So you had to kind of bring your A game, and that's the thing. It wasn't really for casual players. So that's the negative. Is you get a lot of people that are kind of anal. They're gonna require more out of you, but it makes you a better person. I was average. I'm gonna be honest. I was average on private servers, but when I came here, I'm kind of like a veteran because I've seen the game, and also you got to bring your consumables. That's a key part of Classic. In BC and Wrath of the Lich King, you don't really have to have consumables. You can go into a raid just with your skills, and you can kill the boss. It's harder to do that on Classic. You got to have your mongoose pots. You got to have sometimes your flask. You got to have those. You got to bring those things that you're farming throughout the week to be successful when it comes to raid.
You mean private server?
Exactly. You kind of had to bring those things, so it makes you better on Classic if you bring those things, but you had to bring them on private server.
Now, Blizzard has to realize that. I don't think they know like every detail on what's going on in the background of each players. Even when it comes to private servers, and I think the majority of them just think, people made private server because they wanted to play for free. But, it's not the case. And they probably... Go ahead, sorry.
Yeah, definitely not the case at all, man. You're 100% on the money with that one. People thought that's what it was. And actually, Blizzard could have made more money if they charged people to play Classic. I'm going to be honest. Even if it was $5, $10, people would have paid that fee to play Classic. Even more than that. Let's say $20, because we're paying $15 a month now.
Right.
People would have paid $20 to play this game because their characters, their work is maintained on a Blizzard server versus the 2 or 3 years work I put on my character on a private server is gone. So if that security is what people will pay their money for.
Yep, definitely. And I think they need to, I think one of the things that will fix their problems, I'm not saying that they have a whole problem with this game, and it's already successful, right? But if they wanted to, gather more customers, I think they should hire somebody that worked at that did some of the private servers, so they know a little bit about those side of the players, especially when it comes to the difficulties. Maybe in the long run, along the way, they could create some type of classic plus that has difficulties. Maybe that's gonna be another option in the future. I know that they're already going for Burning Crusade, but I have no idea what they're gonna do after that. They're gonna keep going on this expansion, which is gonna defeat. I think it's gonna defeat the purpose of having the classic. Then it won't be classic anymore. I think the idea is to play classics, to play the vanilla from when they created this game. When it comes to expansions, I have no clue if I mean, they could do Burning Crusade, but after that, maybe they should just look at on a different angle where they can hire somebody from private service and get ideas from them in terms of what you mentioned, difficulties, or maybe any other type of things that could be added.
Yeah, I'm thinking they could do that. They could, when Nostarius and Elysium, when they would re-release servers, because they did like the launch, they called it fresh. They did it a couple times, and when they did that, they did kind of different tweaks to it, to make it a different experience. And Blizzard can do the same thing. Let's say they come out with the next server, they say, you know what? Let's up the difficulty a little bit to give new players a chance to play it again, maybe play a new class, because they're going to have to keep coming out with fresh servers to prevent people from going to private servers. Again, like the classic bunch. A lot of us are going to move on to the Burning Crusade, but there's going to be a few that like vanilla, and that's it. They're going to stay classic. And so you got to keep those people in because they're paying money, Yeah. They're paying that $15 a month, to play the game.
Yeah, most definitely. That's the thing too, man. I like playing this game. I did try one of the private servers, but I don't remember which ones. Maybe it was Nostalgia, but I couldn't level one there. I just kind of like, it didn't had that the same attachment, that whenever you log into that private server. I'm not like saying that it's talking down on it or anything like that. It's just me, my experience. When I logged into one of those private servers, I think I leveled 1 to 10, and that's about it. I had no significant connection with the character, and I'm pretty sure that I would have made friends there if I kept leveling, but that kind of discouraged me to do it because of that initial leveling part. It was just it wasn't the same.
Definitely, yeah. Leveling is a huge part of Classic also, man. What I like to do is there's certain players that they do like a leveling tournament. And that's something that I found that was kind of cool. My guild leader was also in it also. I put him onto it. They do it basically, it's called the hardcore challenge, where you have to level a character and level them up within 10 hours from 1 to however level you get to without dying. So Classic, you can do little things like that. You can have little tournaments where people, you have a PvE server where, you can't get ganked and flagged for PvP, and you just level. Because the leveling is a big part of it. You're getting like the perfect route down. You're getting the quest mobs that you're going to take, the ones you're going to skip. Classic, you can do a lot of different activities like that versus retail where those activities are limited.
Yeah. Did you play vanilla at all?
No, I came in during Burning Crusade. So, funny story. So I was in college and I was playing football, right? Mm-hmm. And my roommate at the time played World of Warcraft. And he was on a Pacific Coast server. And so he would get on late at night when I was over there just chilling, talking with him. We're talking games and stuff like that. And he would just be playing this new game with his boys and just having a good time, just playing. I think they were in Dire Mall. Dartmouth West, because the little aberrations were up. And I was just like, what the fuck is this game? This game looks amazing. What is this? Like the music and everything, it drew you in.
Yeah.
And so about a year or so later, I got a computer and I uploaded the game, and then I just started playing ever since. I played it all through college, went through breakups, would play this game to get me through that. I'll travel to Azeroth. I got injured playing football. I would play this game, get me out of that mind frame. It was just a game that it's been a part of my life for years. And it wasn't until this January I started to stream it. Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool, man. Like, I looked into your streaming, and you have a YouTube channel, right?
Yeah, man. I have a YouTube channel. That's Reggie versus Solace. I upload the raid vlogs. Another cool thing that I'm doing on the YouTube channel is I upload different WoW kind of questionnaires or tutorials, some knowledge things where you can kind of get some feedback from the game. I test out trinkets. That's my biggest video so far. It's testing out the Dark Moon Fair trinkets. I have 2 videos up for 2 different trinkets, testing them out, talking about how effective they are and things like that. And a lot of the WoW players really have gave me good feedback.
Cool, man. That's awesome. Keep doing that. Your titles are always like interesting, like Tiger King, since that show.
It was awesome, man. It was a fun raid. I do admit that was a fun raid.
Yeah, I didn't know. I forgot about that too when we did Molten Core last Monday, and that procced, and you were like Tiger King. I'm like, oh, this is what he's talking about. It's like, why is he calling this Tiger King? I thought you just
right. So you got the kind of reference right there. It was pretty cool.
I just thought that since there's tiger bosses in there, I think that's what you were referring to, really. But I'm like,
it was me turning into a tiger to fight the boss.
It's insane.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. And that's up on YouTube also, man. Thanks for checking that out.
Yeah, and you're a musician as well, right?
Yeah. I used to do spoken word, so that was my first passion.
Reggie.
I'm an Air Force veteran, by the way. So after the Air Force, I played football. Football didn't work out. I got injured, and then I just started doing some spoken word. So you got some music videos up there from the spoken word things that I were doing. Clearly I got a raspy voice, so I was doing some spoken word. And I always play this game. So, last year I decided, you know what, man, I'm always playing this game. Let me stream about it. Let me talk about it, because I'm always playing it. And you can see the kind of the background I have back here. Well, you can't see it now, but on my stream, I have a background set up where I have the World of Warcraft stuff going in there. My sister just got me the Stream Deck so I can add sound effects.
Nice.
It's going pretty good.
Nice. And that's your Reggie versus Solace? Is that what it's called?
That's everything. That's on all 4 social medias. That's Instagram, that's Twitter, that's Facebook, that's Twitch. Everything Reggie versus Solace. You see the banner on my stream. You can extend a follow. We're just growing the community, man. It's going to be pretty nice.
That's pretty awesome, man. Is it, when you say spoken words, as far as it's like an entertainment, is it like a different genre of type of music, or is it just narrating something? What is it? Can you explain that a little bit more?
Yeah, I would say it's poetry, basically. Spoken word is like it's spoken poetry. It's kind of the same thing. I won't say I'm a poet, because poets write a lot, whereas spoken word artists, they're more performing the art that's written down or off the top of the head.
So it's like, is it like a subgenre of rap, or is it?
You could say that. I would say a subgenre of poetry. That's what I would say. I wouldn't say of rap, but there's a lot of rappers that came from spoken word and vice versa. You could definitely hear that. Singers also. Sure,
yeah. Yeah, that's interesting, man. That's
a good cool. That's a good question. Thank you. Hey. Thank you for you really did your research, man. I appreciate that.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, I mean, it's when it comes to music, I can usually ask pretty okay questions when it comes to that, because I'm a musician as well, and part of that is just kind of digging deep into other people's perspective and ideas and what they think about music. So
nice. I didn't know you were a musician. What instrument does you play?
I play guitar. So
Nice, nice,
the
nice.
six
There was
string.
a streamer that I used to tune into his videos. He doesn't really stream that much anymore.
Mm-hmm.
His name is Hamster Wheel, and
Okay.
he plays the guitar also. You know, and he did like old school WoW classic videos and things like that. And he would always kind of jam out to the guitar sometimes also. So that's pretty
Yeah, man. I usually write songs parody for World of Warcraft. If you notice on my
nice. I gotta
website,
check that out, man. Awesome.
if you notice on my website, it's got playlist there with the podcast player on top, and below it, it's the SoundCloud that I created, Speed Limit Music. So it's there.
Nice.
Yeah.
So I got some questions for you then. How about that?
All right. Sure. Go ahead.
All right. So how long have you been playing World of Warcraft?
Altogether, I don't have an answer for that, but I started playing when this game came out, I think back in 2004, maybe 2005. My cousin got me to play, and
Oh, wow. Okay. You're a veteran. Okay.
yeah, vanilla. Yep. And I played about maybe 5 years straight, and I was working on this factory as just like a production factory, 40 hours a week, just some simple work when I started playing this game. That's after I graduated high school. And so after playing this game, when I got it, the company that I was working for kind of didn't have work for us, so they laid a lot of people off, including myself. And that was a perfect opportunity for me to kind of like, oh, I'm getting unemployment and I'm gonna play this game. 3 years fast forward to 4 or 5 years, I still don't have a job. Played this game for rating and just wasting my time on this thing, right? And I realized that I needed to do something else. So after a few years of playing, I quit for about like a year until Burning Crusade came out. And then when it came out, I started playing again, and I think I played for maybe over a year on Burning Crusade, and then quit again. And then the new expansion came out again, and I bought that and played again, and quit again. So whenever there's an expansion comes out, or whenever this expansion comes out, I play it maybe either like a year, 9 months, 8 months, and it kind of diminishes over time when a new expansion comes out. And by this last expansion, Battle for Azeroth, I played it for maybe like 3 months and then quit right away until I heard about Classic. So I'm like, maybe it's time for me to just not play, to come back and not play retail anymore. Because
nice.
so I logged in to retail this morning and kind of, checked things out. I did some quests here and there, but I'm like, it's not the same. So here I am back on Classic, and I think I'm gonna be stuck in here for the rest of my gaming time.
Yeah, that's kind of the Classic effect. I was the same way. I was playing up until Mist of Pandaria. I think I quit at the end of that, and the game started getting away from the things that I liked about the game. I liked to play the auction house, and gold was getting inflated. It became less guild centric. That was the big kicker for me, because you play with a group of people, and sometimes you become friends with those people. And when the game started to kind of be like a one-on-one personal game where you have looking for group, you don't really need your guild to even clear the highest content. It was just bad. It was, it rubbed me the wrong way. So when private servers came out, you grew to your guild, and then Classic came out, and that was the one thing. I came from a server that was too big. The the night of the World of Warcraft Classic launch. It was so big that people were getting disconnected. So all of my guild from private servers, they went on to another server. And I was kind of left on the original server we were supposed to be on, that Blizzard thought a lot of people weren't going to play Classic. And they were dead wrong. It was over the amount of people wanting to play Classic that launch night. And so I came here hoping I could find a guild that I can grow with. And fortunately, I did.
Yeah, it's awesome, man. And in between my playtime from back in vanilla, I felt like I wasn't doing anything with my life, and I was kind of just, sitting at home, and it really kind of hit me, realization just kind of hit me, like I wanted to do something else. And in between that too, I was in a band. I was in a metal band, and trying to, make a living off that, and it wasn't going anywhere because there's a lot of issues when, I don't know if you been in a band at all, like a group of 3, 4, maybe even more.
Me, no, I have not been in a band. Like I said, if you're doing spoken word, I always wanted to do that though. Honestly, Speed, I wanted to do have a live band when I'm doing spoken word. Just never got around to it.
Sure, and coming back to that, I think if people are deciding to be a part of some type of a group or a band, they should have the perfect people for it. For me, it wasn't the case. We had struggles. We had some players we had some members that didn't do much, and that's a big issue right there. If you're trying to do the best you can to success in this band, and one person or two person doesn't really care, it's gonna affect that. And that's what happened with me when the few that I joined, and I'm like, what am I even doing? It's not even, I know for a fact that it's just supposed to be for just playing and don't even care about the money or anything like that. But it wasn't even the money for me. It was the drive of the other people that I don't sense when I was in these different groups and different band. So I started thinking, I'm like, okay, what am I gonna do, to kind of have a plan B, And I told myself one day, I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna quit, and I'd hate to be in this position where I had to talk to these guys that I've known forever, and telling them that I'm not interested in being in the band anymore, and I wanna do something else. But I did it, and a few maybe like 2-3 years later, I kind of found the thing that I really, really wanted to do. So it's ever since I think I was like a kid, I was into computers. So I chose that. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna become some type of computer guy or something, right? Did my research, and for the time being that I was trying to do this research, I'm kind of growing up. I was having a family and all the stuff that's going on, being in a relationship, and I couldn't really go into like a 4 year college. So what I did was kind of did a little bit of research on what I can do for maybe taking 2 years on some type of computer degree, and I found like IT, and I researched on it, and 2 months later I went to community school and just graduated like 3 years ago. So
congratulations on that, man. That's big. IT, that's a nice career field, man.
Yeah, it is. And it's paying off well too. And when I was, I think when I graduated, and after a year, when I heard this classic came out, so I'm like, if I play this game, I'm gonna control it. It's not gonna be like before, where I was partially maybe even depressed when I was playing it. I didn't have anything else. I didn't have any job that I worked hard on. And now it's kind of different, because now I have the job that I really like, and I can play this game in a schedule and I can control it. It's all about the control. I think on when you want to play any type of game, especially World of Warcraft, it just really really consume your life if you don't pay attention to it.
Definitely. That's definitely it's you're having so much fun and you're putting so much into the game. It's a dangerous thing where you're not able to disconnect and take care of your real life responsibilities, a girlfriend or family members or social life with your friends and things like that. What are you doing? Oh, I'm playing World of Warcraft. Come on, grab a beer with us. No, I'm playing World of Warcraft. I got a raid coming on, things like that.
Mm-hmm. But how would you differ that from a long-time real-life friend versus somebody you play with online? Like, how would you compare those and kind of contrast those type of people?
I mean, of course, there's difference because it's online, but there's going to be like different conventions and things like that. Like the streamer life, you go to Twitch cons, you go to PAX South, PAX East, you may meet some of the guildies. Or if, like, let's say if we become real close and I'm in the DC area and I have a guildie that's in Pennsylvania, that's one state up. Or you have a guildie that's in Virginia, that's one state down. Okay, cool. You know what? Let's hang out. Let's grab some brews and let's talk shit. You know what I'm saying? So it could be something like that. I know that happened in my private server life. It was two guildies. They happened to live in Colorado. They was you know what? Let's meet in Denver and let's go grab some brews. And they went to a metal band and went to that metal band concert. Little things like that. That happens all the time when you're playing a game 8, 9, 10 hours a day with the same type of people, Yes,
definitely. And with this time right now, probably make a lot more friends than usual because everybody's locked in. Everybody's in the room playing.
Quarantine, yeah.
Mm-hmm. So like right now, we have like nothing to do at all. Well, I still work, but at the same time, like other people out there are out like in this game and enjoying the hell out of this game, while communicating with other people.
Yeah, I think for the video game age, for the streaming age, for the esports age, I think this is a pivotal moment, to be honest, because you're right. There's going to be more viewers viewing your product. There's going to be more viewers listening into this stream. There's going to be more people playing World of Warcraft Classic because you're stuck in the house. What are you going to do? You're either going to watch people play the game or you're going to play the game yourself. Some people play the game and watch people play the game on the two monitors.
Yeah,
I think this time is very important for that.
Yeah. You have two monitors?
Yeah, I definitely have two monitors. Yep. I'm doing it right now.
I was thinking about getting a third one because I have a little surveillance thing going on. Not surveillance, but it's like a baby monitor thing to check on my kids.
Yeah, that's smart.
So
I would love to get a third monitor, man. That'd be pretty awesome.
Yeah, because usually when I have my third one, I'm good. Like I'm good right there. It's perfect for me. Like I don't want a fourth one. I don't want a fifth one. I want a third one. It's like having too much. It's just it wouldn't make any sense anymore. Just having the right amount of monitors is just perfect for me.
Yeah, I noticed that a lot of people when I went out, I was trying to get a new video card, right? So I just upgraded to the RTX 2080. And I noticed each store, Walmart, Target, the stores in this area, there were no monitors available because everyone is now computer gaming or working from home. So I think that's going to be the trend for this year is people are going to still continue to video game from home, to play their computer games, to watch other people on their double monitors. I think that's going to be the trend for 2020.
Yeah, definitely. And when everything goes back to normal, I don't know how the other people are going to deal with it when, it comes to that. I think they're going to miss it quite a lot. So I don't know if you ever get into normal per se, but I hope that we do. And how are you guys holding up? over at your household or your family? How you guys doing there?
We had some tragedy. I won't get too much into that. My father had passed actually on Monday because of COVID, so it's been a tough time. But that's why I'm happy to stream, because you can kind of get away from the real world stuff that's going on. Because it would be a sad time. A lot of people get depressed, especially I would, if I didn't have the outlet to stream, to play the World of Warcraft, to raid, and things like that. So there's a benefit to having an online community of people that you can escape the horrors that's going on as far as reality goes right now.
Shit, man, that's probably like a heavy thing to carry.
It's been a rough week, but we're trying to make it through, man. But I appreciate this podcast because I can be thinking about this instead of the other stuff.
Yeah, definitely. And for are you working from home right now, or do you actually work?
Yeah, I work from home right now too. I work for the power company, so of course that's an essential thing. You got to have power.
Cool, definitely. It's going. Can we talk about your warrior a little bit?
Of course.
So
that's why I'm here.
Having second warrior, you have 2 warriors only, right? Or do you
I have 3. I have 2 60s and 1 at level 30.
Oh, okay. My hunter's 28 right now. If you want to level sometime, you can get it.
Hell yeah, let's do that, man.
Yeah, but so okay, your warrior. Your main is Warblade, right?
Yeah, that's the head honcho.
Okay, so what spec are you in Warblade? What spec is he?
Okay, so I am I'm a one-handed fury spec for Warblade. He uses swords primarily. Mm-hmm. A lot of people, of course, he's an undead warrior, so I won't go axes because there's orc warriors that get the axe racial. Mm-hmm. So I go swords in the game. I compete with the sword rogues, of course, for sword gear. Sure. But he has the Edge Masters. I got that early, and I have one of the Thunder Fury bindings. So I'm hoping for that next binding to drop, and then I'll be, I think, the first DPS warrior on the server with the Thunder Fury sword.
Oh shit! I'm excited for you, man.
That's gonna be big for the stream, so I'm waiting for that.
That's awesome. Hopefully it'll drop soon. And on your Gressel, which is your second warrior, what spec is he in?
So he uses two-handed weapons. Right now he has the Earthshaker two-handed mace. I think his best in slot is going to be that Untamed Blade, which is the two-handed sword off Razor Gore in BWL. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I'm looking for that. And maybe if I can get the one off of Hakar and ZG, and those are a little better for PvE than the mace that I'm using right now. But it's been fun.
That's pretty awesome, man.
That's pretty cool.
So, I'm under this impression that when you created your first warrior, and then you created your second warrior, where you had already planned your talents, which is paramount, which is really, really important, I guess. So you don't want to fuck that up. If you fuck it up, you'll have to respec and spend that gold. But so I imagine you did your research on what you're gonna expect, and you just kind of carefully spend it on that, and you haven't respect at all in your Gressel.
Well, funny story, Speed. All right, so I created both of these characters. Gressel is the reason why his name is Gressel is because I created him after I made Warblade. I wanted Warblade to be, of course, one-handed swords. Mm-hmm. I got the Bone Reaver's Edge in September. So the game came out in August, and in late September, we were raiding already, and I was the first person, Horde side, I think first person on the whole server to get the BRE, which is the best two-handed sword in the game, basically, due to the proc. Mm-hmm. So I had that, and I'm like, damn, I have the Edge Masters already, and I have a two-handed sword, which is the best sword in the game. Fuck. Let me create another character because I love how the one-handed swords, how it fights. So that's why. So they're basically flip-flopped, but I'm working with it.
Cool, man. Right? Yeah,
But it's pretty cool. And having two warriors allows me to raid with the second group. We have a raid, a group that raids on Tuesdays and a group that raids on Fridays. And so I now can bring both warriors and be a part of both those raids.
And
it works out that.
And get 2 bindings.
Yeah, I definitely don't want 2 bindings. But I'm thinking of if the Eye of Sulphurus drops, the Hand of Rag, I'm thinking that might can go to my 2-handed warrior if no one else needs it.
Mm-hmm. Well, we do have that one shaman enhancement now, but he has a pretty good weapon, so I'm not sure about that. Yeah.
I'm thinking, and I'm not in the raid that he's in, so that's the kicker. Is he's in Warblade's raid, and I'm talking Gressel is in another raid. I don't know who wants that, unless it's Gore.
Gore,
that might do it. Yeah, yep. Gore might get it. You're right.
Yeah. The thing about like shamans too. If we only have one of those, it's fine. When I started researching on shamans, which I kind of regret and kind of proud of creating at the same time, is
you got to tell me the backstory with that one.
Yeah, is shamans are always needed when it comes to raiding, especially with their chain heals. Especially resto shamans. One of the reasons why I created them, but that wasn't the first initial point of my idea. Is that the reason I created the shaman? The reason is that I wanted that freaking Hand of Rag, but that's just so wishful thinking, since it's almost impossible to get that, And later on, I was kind of doing a research a little bit about it, and I found that only like enhancements are good for non progressive raids, and since we are already on Blackwing Lair and Molten Core Farm, it's nice to have one of those people to have, but if we are just starting those raids and progressing, it's not a good idea to have those, because we want the ultimate DPS and the ultimate healers that we can get. And part of that being an enhancement shaman is that it's less important to help melee DPS to get improved totems versus having a rogue, or versus having a hunter or any other DPS out there. It's less beneficial to get an enhancement shaman when it comes to raid progression, because the damage output, I'm not really so sure or 100% about this, but I researched that the output DPS of enhancement shamans are really, really low, and they don't really put that much DPS on. But I don't have my damage meter on when it comes to healing too, so I don't see it, and I don't really pay attention to the damage meters when it comes to our raid logs. I haven't had the chance to look it up. Maybe I should later to see what type of what output damage Gore is doing. If it's legit, it's pretty good, then maybe the person who did this research is wrong. And I'm happy that we have one. I'm kind of wondering why we don't have an elemental shaman, which I
That is
don't.
a good point. What's going on with that? If they're going to go enhanced, then why not elemental also?
Yeah, so the elemental one, I think it's more. They can output more DPS, but the thing is, it's the mana. You have to worry about your mana, since Molten Core is really just fast phase and killing boss 1 minute or 2 minutes. We have enough mana to use with that fight, but long fights, maybe like Nefarian or Chromagus and BWL, that might get that might be a little different when it comes to mana consumption.
I think with Classic being as easy as it is, I think there is a great opportunity for elemental and enhancement shamans to kind of gain a following, because it's always been ridiculed as a broken spec. You know, like Resto is the best, so I'm just going to go Resto. I can't try out these other two specs. And I think that Classic, it's kind of laid back. So it gives opportunity, especially with the spell hit gear that's out right now. There's a lot of spell gear that wasn't out. And I think you can really kind of tweak some things, almost like War is doing, but with Elemental, it's even stronger if you use it. If you drink between the pools and things like that, I think there's a great opportunity to see that climbing up the DPS charts.
Yeah, and also part of that is the reason why I went Resto is because that the majority of the gear is all Resto, and you can barely see any other male gear that have spell powers on them. I'm sure there is, like the shoulder that drops from Molten Core with the 40 spell nature power, which is pretty dope. But at the same time, there's no gear set of DPS per se when it comes to enhancement or elemental. And that's one of the reasons why I went as a Resto.
Yeah, I noticed that too. Is you would have to like really like search, needle in a haystack for that gear you would need to make it effective. You're right, for sure. Ret Paladins, Demo Warlocks, things like that. Those off specs that are not going to perform well. Moonkins. You're going to have to kind of search hard and low for your gear to make it work.
Yeah. And I mean, you can maybe some of the people that are here that doesn't really want to do research, like me, for instance. Like I do a little bit of research when it comes to it, but if I really wanted to become like a main spec elemental, I think I would find some sort of gear that would work pre-BAS before entering Molten Core or BWL. I'm pretty sure there's a lot of like cloth gears out there, and there's another reason too. Like, I mean, I seen a lot of shamans that are wearing cloth with their spell power. That's all it matters really. But I wish that there's male versions of those type of gear, because if there is that, then we'd be giving those to cloth bearers like priest instead of having shaman to wear them. It doesn't even matter if they have some sort of mana regens, MP5s and stuff like that. I don't know like how beneficial that is to shamans, because it stacks up with their mana totems and all that stuff. But I'm pretty sure it's really beneficial to other casters out there too if they stack up on MP5. I wish they had a way to create a different type of gear in terms of being a male or a cloth or leather. I don't like that part of borrowing or taking away those type of gear from leather wearers or cloth wearers that could use them.
Yeah, I think later on in the game, and that's why I think it opens up. Because I think when most people get the gear, almost like War, speaking of that, a lot of people have the gear he's looking for, so when it drops, he can roll on it. And I think that there should be a space for a Moonkin. I think there should be a space for an Elemental Shaman, and little things like that to kind of give some spice to the raid composition.
Yeah, definitely.
But like I said, it also creates an opportunity for providing some facts to the different classes. And that's why I did that trinket video, Speed, is everyone knows it's out, but it's like, okay, but what does it do? Because on private servers, the proc rate was horrible. But I noticed on classic servers, all the proc rates are improved. It's like, okay, so this is how Blizzard intended to use this weapon or this trinket. Private servers had it wrong. So it's like, there's a lot of different gear and a lot of different specs that you can use now. Mm-hmm. And I think, the Shaman has all three that you can use in a way.
Yeah. And a lot of people are saying, too, that Burning Crusade, when it comes to Burning Crusade expansion, that's when everything just kind of, it's more a little bit balanced when it comes to class specializations. And also, I know that it's kind of exciting to think about having the Burning Crusade expansion as the next classic, but it's also, I hope they're also thinking about doing some type of classic plus, which is going to impact a lot of their time, since this new expansion is coming out. If they're gonna work on that for another year or maybe almost a year, they're not gonna have time to fuck around with creating some sort of classic plus, because why would they if they could just grab the data from Burning Crusade and copy it without with less stuff to do? It's just practically copying that. I don't know how much they still have to do, but it's not gonna be like a new thing that they have to think about and do beta test on. And there's another thing that I forgot to mention about beta testing. If they did hire people from private servers, to kind of get an idea from what's the next classic is or what's gonna become classic, they should have one of those people that could explain part of the reason why they would do. Even this even happens on retail too. Part of the reason why a lot of people would do beta testing is that they would test the raids and kind of learn from those raids and then apply it later on after the actual alpha or the actual game comes out.
Yep, that is a real thing for sure.
So
what I'm thinking is this. I think that they're, of course, going to make the cash grab and go for Burning Crusade. It's easy to do it. It's all there. That'll crush the Burning Crusade private servers. Totally understand that. Mm-hmm. I feel they should open up fresh servers. And I feel the Classic Plus content should be attached to those servers. And that way you get both. You get the people that don't want anything to do with Burning Crusade. They don't want flying mounts. They feel PvP's been fucked over with flying mounts. They don't want nothing to do with that. Mm-hmm. You put the Classic Plus content to the back end of that content. So that's going to come out in another year and a half on the new servers. That's what I think they should do.
Yeah, that's why they did that survey, right? It's like a 3 survey. Like, would you
exactly? And they mentioned a little bit of Classic Plus in that survey. One question was like, would you want extended stuff that we wasn't able to release, like Karazhan? Wasn't supposed to be in Burning Crusade. Doesn't even fit Burning Crusade. Mm-hmm. It fits vanilla, and that's why you can use your ITS to get to it, because that's supposed to be the final raid.
Oh, I didn't know that, man.
You could put that. You could put a 40-man Karazhan. Remember, we've never played a 40-man Karazhan because it was a 20-man, I think, and 25-man, I think it was, or and something like that.
25-man. Yep, you're right.
Yeah, 25-man, exactly. It was supposed to be 40. Mm-hmm. So that'll be a world first. 40-man as it's supposed to be Karazhan. You'll get people paying their money to play that.
That would be insane. Like
insane.
Yeah.
Think about the possibilities,
Yeah, if they did have some sort of Classic Plus where they just add a bunch of shit in here from from Burning Crusade, not necessarily go into a Burning Crusade, Outland, but added a bunch of elements from that and put it to Classic. I don't.
Classic, exactly.
Yeah.
That's the money. That's my thing, because we like the structure of classic. Burning Crusade's great. Don't get me wrong. Even with the flying mounts, okay, cool. There was areas you needed to do the flying mounts. It was still good. But there's something about classic where there's danger when you're on foot. Everywhere. You know, there's danger. When I go to Fellwood to do my little farming, get my little songflower, there's danger. Winter Spring, there's danger. It was a mage that killed me 3 times yesterday. Shout out to the mage. And it was a level 58 because I'm trash at PvP. But that's the danger, is when you fly all over it, that diminishes the danger, and that's a negative thing. But they can put 3 raids into Classic Plus. They can put Oldham, they can put Karazhan, and they can possibly put Hyjal or Grim Batal.
Yeah, they can add that. They can add those time. The time. What is that place? Fucking time in.
Taverns of Time. They could do that too.
Taverns of Time. Yep. That's what it is.
Black Morass is already in the classic files.
That'd be way interesting.
And that was a good raid. Don't get me wrong. I love Black Morass. The story there was awesome. The weapons, awesome. But they can do something like that, though. They can mix it up.
Oh yeah, definitely, man. That's pretty cool. That would be pretty cool. What was I gonna say? I was gonna mention something else with the classic. Oh yeah.
Real quick, go ahead. You go ahead.
Okay.
So I got a question for you too. Go ahead.
When you mentioned that you were ganked by this 58 mage, I was thinking earlier in the game, like maybe like 4 or 5 months ago, you know, there's level 60s just running around trying to gank people, and there's this 4 level 30s that were fighting back, and the actual kill the 60. So
wow.
That's pretty significant level, but think about this game, man. Like it's not retail. It's classic. It's back then in vanilla, as close as you can get as being a vanilla.
Close as we can get. You're right, and that's amazing. I didn't hear that story, but there's always little stories, especially on this role playing server, that speak of classic, like the Sad Moon guy. Who,
yeah.
You know, he's a total role playing guy. He doesn't run anywhere. He's afraid of Kodos, and he's doing this whole journey to level 60, to where no one wants to kill him. They want to see him complete this thing. Little things like that is like what makes classic so good.
And speaking of Sad Moon, there's a Alliance version of him. His name is Tiny Traveler.
Really? Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah, a shout out to Tiny Traveler. I actually interviewed him last week.
Wow, that is awesome. That is awesome.
Yep. And he had like this little message for me to play, and I did. But yeah, he's the actual Alliance version of Sad Moon, and the idea he got that from Sad Moon himself.
Nice.
That
okay.
idea. So
yeah, see, you know, little things like that, like that's what made classic so good. Even when it was hell, when Phase 2 came out, and there was like death squads of people going around PvPing.
Yeah.
You know, and you know, it was like 70-30 horde. I mean, alliance to horde. So we're like, fuck. You know, if we go out, you have to go out. It's strength in numbers, because it's going to be a rogue there trying to kill you. You know, at a choke point. All those things make it so good, you know?
And what made you choose the server? Like, what's about it that you...
Okay, right. Like, so it's an adventure game, and you know, I'm old. I'm 37. I used to play, you know, the original Zelda with the gold cartridge on Nintendo. That was my first role playing game.
Sure.
Zelda 1 and Zelda 2. So, you know, showing my age, you know, so I played some Super Nintendo. I watched my cousin play Final Fantasy VII, things like that, Secret of Mana. I wanted to role play while PvPing on a server. And I wanted to go to, I think the only one was, Grobulus.
Yeah.
And that was on the West Coast. And I know I work for the power company, so I know I couldn't be up too late because I got to wake up early in the morning. And so when they dropped, like when they realized that everyone wanted to play Classic, they made a East Coast RP server. Mm-hmm. And that's what my final decision was. I was like, you know what? Throughout the 2-week lead up to Classic, when they released the server types and released the server names, it was only one RP PvP server, and it happened to be on the West Coast. And I'm like, that screws all the East Coasters up. Mm-hmm. So when they finally dropped it, that's what made me choose it. My guild went to a PvP server, and I was like, you know what, man, I'm not going to follow those guys. Let me make my own journey. And so I came here.
Mm-hmm. That's awesome, man. And,
the only negative is Blizzard should have released both on 2 weeks prior, so there would be more people on the server.
Yep, they fucked up on that bad. Because originally we were in Grabulas, and we leveled characters there to 10, and since we wanted to play right away and couldn't, that whole situation where you had to wait for about 30 minutes to an hour to log in, that was causing an issue. I'm like, we don't want to do this. We just want to play. So we started the characters here, and part of that playing in an RP server is that back in vanilla we played a full RP server called Argent Dawn, and we were Alliance then. And one of my friend saying that I really like playing in an RP server back in the day. There were people who are actually RPing. I'm not into that, but I like seeing that. And like, okay, he pretty much made a good point where there's a lot more people that he could get along in an RP server. And saying, like, for me, like, I know that I like PvP server, so we kind of just talked a little bit on which server we should do. We should a full PvP or a full RP, and finding out that RP PvP servers exist out there, we just decided to create one in here. So that's how I started playing in the server. And unfortunately, he quit playing, and a couple of my friends quit playing, and I'm still here, so making podcasts for everyone and enjoying the hell out of it.
Your story's similar to mine, because we were all leveling during the launch night, and it was a lot of crashes. It was an overabundance on the Blizzard servers, because they thought it was going to be a few people, and it wasn't. It was hundreds and thousands. And we leveled up to level 10. The East Coast or Eastern Kingdoms, that server crashed, because there are two different servers. So the Eastern Kingdoms crashed. So everyone on Kalimdor was alive. So all the orcs in the guild were alive. They were still questing. That everyone that was on the Eastern Kingdoms shut down. And when it shut down for like 6-7 hours. So people were like, I want to play now, right at 10, 11, 10 or 11, level 10, level 11. We're about to go over to Kalimdor to go to Orgrimmar to start the RFC quest and things like that. And we couldn't. So it was like, damn, what are we going to do? We want to play right now. This server was right there. A few people hopped over, and that's how we got there.
That's cool, man. Well, dude, we've done almost an hour and a half. They got me to take your time. I thought you only had like less than an hour. I was kind of.
Hey, man, this was good. When we got into it, we can continue going. It was a lot to talk about.
Yeah.
I've been waiting to do this for a long time, man. So I thank you for having me on. This is the first podcast as a streamer. It's big for me, and I know you got big things coming, man. I'm glad you persevered and continuing to play the game, because it's a good game.
Hell yeah, man. The same with you. And also, before we call it, do you have anything? Do you want to shout out? Do you want to mention anything else?
Of course. So first, I want to shout out to the guild, Purge. They've been through a lot. We were scared when we first started. So we transitioned to Purge. We have 2 raid teams. Like I said, I'm raid lead for the Warriors there. The Warriors are getting decked out. I'm just trusting, the good guild decisions that we have coming. And for everyone that's playing, like if you're not playing, you don't have to play on DV to Light, because it's an RP East Coast PvP server. But just pick up the game. It's the perfect time to play. I would say that. you have a lot of raids, and there's catch-up raids like ZG to where you can level up to 60 and then also get geared up fairly quickly. You know, it's no attunement to get into ZG. You can just get in there, run it every 3 days, gear your character up. Perfect time to play World of Warcraft. And if you like to just watch people stream, you can tune into my stream. I am twitch.tv Reggie versus Solace. I stream every like 3 days out of the week, sometimes on the weekends, and I upload YouTube videos, different knowledge videos, how-to videos for World of Warcraft, and I upload all the VODs of my raids up to YouTube also, so you can check it out.
That's awesome, man. Yeah, I wish they had some type of a Midwest server. I doubt they do, but that's okay.
The funny thing, Speed, is the East Coast server is stored in Chicago, so it technically is Midwest.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it is. I was shocked. I was like, it's not in New York. It's not in what? But it's actually in Chicago, so it's technically Midwest. You're going to get the lowest ping for your latency if you're around the Chicago area.
Yeah, I mean, it's probably just on the borderline. That's why they probably claimed it as a Eastern. Yeah. So, well, my dude, it's great talking to you, man. It's thanks.
Long time coming. Thank you, Speed. I appreciate you.
Thanks
man.
for doing this again.
Check out that Speed Limit podcast, boys.
So,
check it out.
Yeah. I'll see you on Friday then for our BWL raid.
Hell yeah, man. I'm hoping Gressel gets that blade, man. We'll be in there.
It's gonna.
Hey, it's Stoneclaw. Shout out to Stoneclaw, too.
Stoneclaw,
been stronger. They've been stronger than Wind Fury the past couple raids.
Oh, my God.
They've been clean. Yeah, it's amazing how far they've come. So shout out to Stone.
Hell yeah. All right, man. You have a good night.
You too, man. Thanks again.
Yep. Hunter weapon, hunter weapon. Hunter weapon, hunter weapon. Hunter weapon, hunter weapon.
Do you mind if I need on that?
Hunter weapon, hunter weapon. Hunter weapon, hunter weapon. Hunter weapon, hunter weapon.
Can I roll on that?
Every single loot must be obtained to listen to deniers. Set your mind, encrypt your brain, protect your thought from fucking liars. No one said that you can't roll on a man's layer of Karaji. Go ahead and take that shit, convert your rolls into a hobby. When a warrior screams in pain, spam that sword right in his face. A palace cry is good enough to feed your ego's craving taste. If your guilt subjected you, fucking leave them all behind. You're the hunter of the truth, believe it all, don't waste your time, motherfuckers. Hunter weapon, hunter weapon.
It's alright.
Hunter weapon, hunter weapon.
That's right.
Hunter weapon, hunter weapon.
Take the loot from the east to the west and the inside.
Don't worry about the rolls, hunters have a lot of luck. Your girlfriend needs the dagger looted and don't give a fuck. That pole arm looks killer, you want it all for show. It's perfect for RP events, but you don't care enough to go. They use the staff, I know you wanna be like Donatello. You have to get that ancient leaf for the chest of Major Domo. The only thing that's missing is an axe to complete the collection. Transmit from 2-beat runs, easy enough to solve the mission. Hunter weapon, hunter weapon.
It's alright.
Hunter weapon, hunter
That's
weapon.
fucking right.
Hunter weapon, hunter weapon.
Survival is your nature, melee hunter is your game. Rep the strike, most powerful melee ability. Engage him in a fight, you can crit them with your agility. Moongus bite, a reactivated strike. You dodge them, then you hit them, it's up with damage and dynamite. When it comes to PvP, when clip is a way to slow their motion. And then you retaliate with bursts of range hunter explosion. When a caster takes aggression, draining mana on a spot. They're feeling full irritation, then kill them with one attack. But what do you do if there's two enemies and only you? Immobile's counter-attack can't be dodged, parry, or blocked. Set a trap just for a second so you're safe enough to retreat. Murder his face and escape your after, get your back, then rinse repeat. Hunter weapon, hunter weapon. It's alright.
Hunter weapon, hunter
That's
weapon.
fucking right.
Hunter weapon, hunter weapon.
Survival is your nature, melee hunter is your game.